Good morning.
Good morning, love. How are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm so sleepy.
All right. What else you guys got? And thank you, Kay.
Are we doing good news?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I have a question I want to be sure to get in. Let me think of my good news.
Look at Kay thinking. Ooh.
Deep.
While you're thinking, Craig, what do you got? Calling you out.
I'm thinking.
Can I watch you? Ooh, I get to watch two. Hang on, let me put your two pictures closer together so it's easier for me.
Mm. Well, I guess
Well,
I can say that I met with an estate attorney yesterday with my husband, which was a huge step forward for us. Now we got to figure out what we're going to do. And, it always costs money. And right now we don't have a lot of money, but, that's going to change. And I separated all of my old files and got them out of my office and everything that had closed in real estate. And so you wouldn't recognize my office now, but I'm feeling pretty good because I have more workspace.
Yay.
And I did 2 Jay Connor catch-up sessions, and I gave my VA 4 things to post.
Congrats. Did I get you the social media holiday calendar thingy?
Yes, you sent it to me and I sent it to her.
Okay, perfect. Cool beans. I'll pop that in here too. It's just ideas to pop stuff onto social media. Because Kay and I talked about doing setting her VA up with a calendar of things to post every single week or month or day or whatever it is. So she's got that, and then to fill it in with topical things that Kay wants to post. All right.
I did get 4 new followers.
Yay.
I only have to get 100.
I picked up another 2 coaching clients. I'm like, what are they? Another 2 coaching clients yesterday. So that's good. We're up to
Great.
Yeah, with our crew plus another 7. So, all right, Craig, have you thought?
yeah. So there's a fourplex for sale here in town, and I sent it to a couple of investors. The one investor, he, wanted me to do a bunch of research, so I didn't even answer him back after talking to him a couple of times. But
What are they asking for it?
360.
You to crunch their numbers. The other
Yeah,
guy.
but
I'll do an
Yeah.
analysis if you'll send me some stuff for you, because I might be interested and I need to do some lead sheets and
Okay.
practice and analyzing it.
Gotcha. I will. Yeah, his thing was he wanted, average rents for a 1-bedroom. I gave him the rents for what those rents were going for, which all of them are 2.2s.
Right.
So
Craig, real simple, Rentometer has a
That's what I
free
was gonna
version.
say. There's like rental meter thingy or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rentometer or Rentometer. I have the paid version, so if you want me to run it, I will. But if
Okay.
you want, so give me a call after and I'll run it for you.
Great.
It's
So,
probably rentometer, Brianna. I mispronounce everything.
I do too. So
Right.
between the 2 of us, we'll get it.
So now I sent it to another investor, and so he likes it, and he's doing his own research. So he's very thorough himself.
So Craigerilific, what if you
Mhm.
talked to the other guy and said, I really want you to learn to crunch your numbers with your money. Here's a good place to start. Just go here for the free one. And kind of,
Gotcha.
yeah, maybe he can be redeemed. And if he comes back again wanting you to do all the work, then like just shoot him in the foot or something.
Yeah, well, I've been frustrated with him because he says, I got $3 million that I can spend, but I send him stuff, and it's
Never
always
mind.
something wrong with it. Then he's looking
Never mind.
for well, will they seller finance, and he wanted to do a master lease on one apartment building, and all of this stuff. So I'm like,
Never mind.
oh, Yeah, I'm
Not
kind of
you.
over him right now.
Yeah, never mind. He's a pain in your rear.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So the good news is the other investor is, he's interested, and even if he doesn't get this, he wants some other stuff. So he's buying stuff. He and his partner is buying in Myrtle Beach, and he wants to buy in this area.
Cool.
Yeah, whether it's single family or multifamily.
Cool.
You're in North Carolina, Craig?
South.
South Carolina.
Look at me nodding yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
up with the hills.
Yeah,
Okay.
South Carolina.
All right. Anna or Liz or Kimberly. Anna, Liz, Kimberly. Anna, Liz, Kimberly. Anna, you win.
I had one of my leads I've been in correspondence with. She's from Idaho. Her husband and her have a load of money. Their son is like 45-year-old person who like has messed up in every single corner of his life. So they're now and he's trying to get straight. He was a drug addict, but he's trying to get clean, and they're trying to help him get into, responsibilities. And so they're looking for a place for him to buy. Their first budget was around $250, and then as the time goes by, they lowered it to like $230 and then $200. But the good part is she finally came by. So she was in Idaho, and he's like really weird. He's a really weird guy. So she's like, I want to be the one to be there. And I was really happy to hear that. So we went around to look at properties yesterday, 8 of them, all 8 were like absolute dumps. And so I was like, okay, there's a new build that offers a gorgeous home compared to these. So we took them by, and thank God, I was thinking they're going to be like, oh no, this is too expensive, blah, blah, blah. But I think we saw so many bad things. It worked out that we went here last, because I was thinking we should probably go here first, first impression. But no, it worked out because they saw this and they're like, oh, thank God, there's something good. But right now we're trying to figure out, because they ran the son's credit, and his credit was completely horrible. It was like 550. So like he wouldn't qualify. Now the mom would qualify, but at the interest rates that they have for investment purchases, because she's not sure that she wants to live here, so she doesn't have that intention for it to be a primary residence. And the husband is like,
what is her
what, my
cash
love?
flow like? What is her cash flow like? Because maybe she can do the all-in-one loan.
So the option I showed them is with a builder, and the best part about it is that they're offering 20K, 20,000 back. They really don't have to get a loan. They don't have to. They have the money to buy it outright. But the husband's like, the son has to have a mortgage to actually pay, and they don't want to finance it themselves against the son. So they're wanting to get like a new build that's offering great incentives. So this one is offering 20K in flex cash, which is really great because it brings down the price. The overall cost out of pocket is going to be around what it was going to be with the dumps that they were going to consider purchasing. So now the epiphany the predicament that they're in is, okay, so if we buy it at these primary rates, that works out, but she doesn't know that she wants to live here. So, and the husband's like a very by the book person. He was like a general, and
He's
like,
my
I don't
husband.
know.
Like you
Yes.
follow.
And an all-in-one mortgage can be used for investment property or for primary residence, and the interest rate is the same as if they live there.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's just that if they go with an outside lender, they won't get that 20K flex cash. which then invalidates the entire, you know,
Well,
attractiveness for the new build.
So she's saying that is it off the table if they go with the 20K and it's in her name? Like maybe
It's
this
completely
scenario.
off the table. If they decide to go with an outside lender, that 20K is off the table. And
No,
so
what I'm
whatever,
saying for her is the pain point that she does not want to be on the mortgage.
yes, yes.
Okay, so then the 20K is off the table unless she wants to live there.
Yep,
And so maybe do like a spreadsheet, like, okay, here's option 1, here's option 2, here's option 3, bam, which one do you like?
yep, exactly.
With the
So I'm
numbers?
gonna have their lender, because they have a different rate. So she has the rate sheet with them, so I'm gonna have them run all of those numbers. Okay, these are the primary rates if you're gonna move in with your son. And then these are the non-primary, and then I can ask my CMG guy who does the all-in-one to give potential codes on what that's gonna look like, but
It's on
I'm
the
pretty sure.
website. If you go to the CMG website
Uh-huh.
and look
The
up
rates
all
for
of the
today?
loans, there's a calculator.
Oh, cool.
So
What
the
ab-
calculator will give you the numbers and what it looks like in 5-10 years. And then the beauty with that is if they want to buy other investment property as they pay it down, they can, they don't have to do a HELOC and go through the credit thing again.
But what I'm
that's-
afraid of, love, is that this would eliminate the new home purchase altogether.
Right, it would. So
That's
that's what I'm saying, do numbers so that they can
Mhm.
compare. So the interest rate, so one would be the new build and she gets put on the loan. The other would be an
Mhm.
investment property at higher interest rate, and this is what the payment would be with this down payment. The third option would be the all-in-one loan. The last two, she wouldn't have to be on, like, and the title company could actually pull up, a rental agreement or a purchase, a lease purchase for the son.
Mhm.
Kind
Okay.
of like a wraparound.
Right.
So the
Okay.
title company can help you devise a wraparound where even though the last two would be in her name, he would be responsible to wrap around the existing loan.
Yeah, that's a great choice.
What about also, how long do you have to keep that loan, the 20K loan? Is there like you have to keep it 3 months or 6 months or something like that?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That was exactly what I was gonna ask you. If you guys can think of any potential loopholes around it, like if she were to move in with him and just claim it
Refi.
as, yeah, and then refi out of it.
Refi
I
right
think
out of it.
BA and FHA are 2 years. Conventional may be different, and a portfolio loan in the bank may be even more different. So a lot of times, check with that bank to see if they have portfolio loans versus conventional versus FHA. But I think FHA and BA loans are 2 years.
And then can you confirm, love? So if you're intending so basically the primary residence requirement is an intention requirement. And was it a 60-day occupancy requirement? Can you remind me for conventionals?
I don't know conventional. I just know FHA and BA.
Okay.
And conventionals can be different, and it depends on the conventional is backed by the portfolio of the bank investors,
investors.
or the conventional is backed up by Freddie Mae or Fannie Mac.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
you got to get your loan paperwork or talk to the loan person to see if he knows off the top of his head what the residence are.
But the portfolio loans are more flexible because they're through the bank.
Right.
Mhm. So one of the things she was wondering, she's like, would it suffice if my intention is to actually move in with him, when her husband dies? I'm like, no, that wouldn't flow, but let me try to see if there's like an intention within a specific period of time requirement.
Right.
I think it was 60
Yeah.
days.
Interesting. But yeah, I would dig through your paperwork and find your loophole. You can find it. You're like, you're a loophole finder.
In Tennessee, residency is if she's married, she has to be with the spouse. So, unless there's some kind of work situation. So there's also some state residency things that overlay onto that.
Interesting. Okay.
But your broker,
Okay.
will,
I never ever thought
your
of that
mortgage
one.
lender will know, like Gina said, your lender will know.
Mhm.
Right. Very
Okay.
cool. Well, dig around. You get to get some fun digging. That's always cool.
Yay.
Yep.
Bree, do you have a person that you work with at CMG? Do you have their name and number?
I do. It's Carrie Ann Sear, and I'll find it and send it to you.
Hey, they're
She's
not
the
all
head-
licensed in all states though.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
happy to connect you with my guy if you want.
You have one
Yeah.
at CMG?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, okay, wait, but hold on. For the all-in-one loan, you don't have
That's
to
what
be
I want.
licensed. Okay, the all-in-one loan, you don't have to be licensed in each state because it's not backed by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
Oh,
It's
cool.
backed
Okay.
by investors. So, but definitely you want to probably go with, I love Carrie Ann, but if Anna has a relationship with someone that you could actually like sit down with and see, you may want to do that. But the nice thing about the all-in-one loan, it's not backed by the federal government like the Freddie Mae, Fannie Mac, so it's more flexible.
Yeah. Do they have an office here in San Antonio?
I believe so. Yes, I believe they
Yes.
actually have an office.
Okay. Yeah, well, if either one of y'all will send it to me, I need to do some more investigating.
Okay, if you go to their website and type in your location, it'll tell you where the locations of the offices are.
Okay.
Also,
Yeah.
Anna, Texas has a residency rule of 183 days. So what that means is if you're going to claim dual state, they have a dual state residency. You have to spend at least 183 days of a calendar year in Texas. Other than that, you can prove it within 30 days with just two docs. Like,
Utility bills. and-
yeah, kind of thing, whatever. So,
Hmm,
but you can definitely have dual residency there. Which is,
Okay.
cool. So that might be a way around it also.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you
Liz-
guys.
Yeah, you're welcome. Everybody
Thank
else, say you're welcome too, because I didn't partake of hardly any of this. Liz or Kimberly, do you guys have good news? And then I want to get to Kay's question.
Working, I don't really, nothing spectacular. Just working through that J Connor program, making progress there. I actually had a quick other thought on Anna's last question, and I don't know, Bree might be the one that can answer this, but does that home purchase buying program, Bree, that you work with in the affordable housing space do new builds? Is there do they do programs?
Yeah, they do new
builds as
builds.
well? So
Yeah.
that might be another option to check to see if just the son could get a mortgage. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know why that came into my head, but that's all I got.
If he gets one, it's gonna be a really, really bad terms anyways, because I think they ran his credit. It was like 520
Uh-oh.
something. So it's like,
yeah.
it's really bad.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's like private money at this point almost.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you screwed your life up that much, yeah. Kim
Good
darling,
morning, everyone.
good morning.
So
Morning.
my buyer client, I have not sent the paperwork for her to officially be my client yet, but she is approved for 380,000 and they have a 20,000 down payment that they're going to provide. But the only question that I have, or the only concern that I have, is I have no idea exactly what to do. So
What do you mean, honey?
just walking through the process, because the girl, like the other agent that I worked with the other day, like she knew exactly what to do, how to do the addendums, how to make sure that the transaction went through. She has a mentor that has a virtual assistant that teaches her everything.
Okay,
But who in the state of Florida can I reach out to? I know that, like, since I'm with a team now, I know there's transaction coordinators. So will they do it for me? Will I have to pay them, or will
okay, hang on one second.
they teach me?
Hang on one second.
Okay.
Is your question with forms and contracts, or is your question with the process of helping her pick out and get into a property? Because they're two separate
Forms
things.
and contracts. I can do the process of picking out a property.
Okay, perfect. So what I want you to do, I
Mhm.
don't want you to panic. I just want you to go get the purchase and sale agreement forms if you don't already have them loaded, and I think you do. But go
Yes, I
get
do.
all of those, print them off, just your standard purchase agreement. print, well, while you're doing it, print off all your addendums also that you might need, the most common ones, inspection, appraisal, financing, that kind of thing. Pest, if they have it, in Florida, and whatever the common ones are in Florida, just print all those up. Take your
Okay.
contract, and I want you to do this anyway, and I'm really like dead serious on this one. Take your contract, just the start with just the regular purchase and sale agreement. Don't worry about the addendums yet, but just take your contract and read through the entire thing with a highlighter and highlight everything you don't know about. What you like, if you don't know what that means and you can't figure it out, highlight it, and then get your butt into there's state broker room and state contract classes for Florida specifically.
Okay, I have done that. I have done the contract classes, and I'm in them weekly as well.
Okay, but go through and read it so that, because I
Okay.
want you to know your, I want you to know your contract so well, that you can take your contract, you can face it toward the client on a computer. I don't know what this is, but whatever, on a computer or on paper where it's facing them, not you, and you can go, this paragraph means this means this, this means this means this, sign and date here. Next page, same thing, all the way down, sign date, sign date, sign date. You need to know it at that level and understand what they mean. And the best way
Okay.
to do that is to read the dang thing. And then go with the next state class, just bring that piece of paper, bring those docs with you and go, I need to know what line, paragraph 5, line 2 means. I need to know what paragraph 17 means, page 5, or whatever it is.
Okay, thank you.
You're very
I will
welcome.
do it.
Now, for a TC, she doesn't do it in Florida yet, but she could. Michelle Hereford does really inexpensive TC and she's really good. You can talk to her about picking up the work and she won't teach you, but she will take care. Well, if she has to tell you like, hang on, you still have to go get this one done and that one done and, go do that. But she will get all your paperwork organized and taken care of. And you only have to pay her when the deal closes. It comes right out of the deal.
Okay, and what's her last name?
Hereford, Harriford, and she's in the roster. She's actually Bree's friend in Tennessee.
Okay, thank you so much.
And I've
You're
been using her as a TC for years.
She does
she's
it
an ad-
5 states now.
She's been an executive admin at Walgreens corporate for 20 years. So she loves dotting her I's
She's
and
my
crossing her
TC.
T's.
Yeah, for my whole team, she's my TC.
Oh, good.
I know, right
What
now.
does she charge? What does she charge?
Oh, what does she
I
charge?
think $350.
That's probably about right. Yeah, she's
But
inexpensive.
I mean, she'll even set up the inspection. Like if you give her all the phone numbers, she'll set up the inspection, make sure the blender does the appraisal. Because she's a realtor, she knows, what needs to be done, and she does different states.
Yeah, she's in a bunch of states, and I talked to her and I'm like, would you be for my team, every single state, get them all set up with their initial stuff in? And she's like, yeah, absolutely. So, and I'm picky about who I work with. So there's that too. Clearly, look at you all. All right, Kay, what's your question?
Okay, well, I had a conversation with Corrine and she finally has agreed that she wants to do one of her houses on a rent to own basis. So my question is, if I do a rent to own, do I list it as a rental? Do I list it as for sale?
Oh,
And
good question. I love this.
how do you set that up?
Okay, so you sell it, but you sell
Okay.
it with the terms, and the terms are it's lease purchase or rent to own, however you're gonna want to do it. Gary did a really good class on the difference between rent to own and lease purchase. Rent to own in most states gives you much more rights as an owner than the lease purchase version does. And then your title company can help you with the actual terms. If she doesn't have the terms, I wrote my own terms. So and then it depends upon how your state contracts work. What we did when we did it in Washington, we did 3 contracts to get them to play together. We did the sale agreement. You have to do the inspections up front and they have to be approved and done. That has to get completely out of the way because you're not coming to me 2 years later and telling me stuff's trashed. They're responsible for all repairs. They're flat out responsible for those. And then we did the whole purchase and sale agreement. We also did a lease agreement which had, in Washington State, the way it worked was you had $0 on that because that doc was only to protect them for, I forget what the reason was. And then the third doc was the rental, actual, like a standard rental agreement. And that one had all the dollars, figures, if you relate. And no matter what.
Why would you do a lease agreement and a rental
There
agreement?
was a
I
way
don't
in
understand.
Washington State that you had to do that
Oh.
middle piece in order to make it legal. So it's probably not needed in their states, but at that point we had to do it there. But the most important part was that there was a heck of down payment. That down payment covered my commission. And the rental agreement covered, let's say the rent should be $1,000, but the mortgage would be $1,000, and that would cover it exactly. It was enough to cover taxes, insurance. I'm not sure how that had to work. I can't remember off the top of my head. They had to get renters insurance. I believe I carried homeowners. They had to get the renters insurance. It covered the taxes, but it also put X amount of money extra into a escrow account. And that escrow account, what the goal was that extra, let's say $200 a month or whatever it was. I can't remember what it was. The goal was that at the end of the time period, 1 or 2 years, whatever agreement length you guys want, there's enough money for their down payment to be able to qualify. So it was enough to equal 3.5% for FHA. And you lock the purchase price in at today's purchase price. This is really good, especially if stuff's going down. So everything's agreed and the house is sold. You're just doing the rental agreement in addition to it. So, all inspections and everything have to clear ahead of time. And the last piece was if they default, failure to close for any reason at the length of that time meant all the money that was in that pool completely was non-refundable under any circumstances, period. Set it up so that you get your commission up front out of it. You don't have to wait until the end because more than half of these are going to fall through. They just do. More than half of them fail. You can, if they default on the rent or the not being able to close in time, you can extend if you want to, but you don't have to because you're protected and safe with that. All money is completely non-refundable under any event and failure to close on this date, whatever that date is.
I have a question. She lives in an alternate universe, but in the event that prices go up, can you put some sort of an escalation clause in if they don't close within like the first year, 2 years?
I would, if you can write anything you dang want.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I
'cause you
can
can-
put an escalation clause.
Because it's got options, right? You
Yeah.
got an
Yeah, you can
option
do
for them.
options.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Kate, you got to be careful because in Texas, we're not allowed to write escalation clauses unless the escalation clauses are written by the attorneys. So try to have the title team, either their own internal attorneys or maybe an outside attorney draft up the agreement.
This is why we have Anna and Liz as part of our group.
I'm glad. didn't realize Anna was an attorney by background, so this is great. And Liz has been wonderful. She's taught me so much.
Flipping amazing. It's like having it like, your back pocket and protected. It's awesome. You are CYA.
So my state broker told another agent that she couldn't do a lease purchase because we couldn't put it in SkySlope. And it was nowhere to put it. And I was like, nah, that's a lie. She just doesn't know how to do it.
There are so many times when in my old age, when I get somebody that doesn't know anything or is like the brick wall, you know what I mean? Especially in customer service. I'm like, hang on, I can't hear you. I can't hear you, click. I'm just like, no, I'm done. I'll go find me another broker or something who gets it. I mean, even like getting my team approved the way I've structured through EXP, I had to read their stuff and then find their loopholes. It's not really a loophole. I had to use their language to get it through so that they can understand it. It's like, no, this is doable. Your rules say it's doable. It just doesn't.
So I listed for sale and then just put in what the terms would be and take it down from being a rental. I guess I could leave it as a rental and do it for sale. I could do both, right?
If you can and you're allowed to, yeah, why not?
Okay.
Now, if it's listed for sale, is she okay with selling it? Like if someone comes along with the price, because you can list, let's say the house is worth 300, but you can list it 330. If you're going to do a rent to own, you can push it up higher, which is going to not allow, people aren't going to buy it if it's 10% higher than what the market's going for. And I really worked with Gary on this with my property, and he's like, you can push 10%, you can't push much higher than that. Because I'm like, how high can I push to guarantee? Because what I really want to do is sell on terms. I'm not interested in a cash
Yeah,
offer.
that's really what she wants to do. I finally educated her enough that selling on terms and owner financing will continue to give her an income, but she gets rid of all the headaches. So,
Yep.
you know, something is clicking in that German brain of hers, which is good.
Well, when you hit them with the sledgehammer enough, they kind of get it opened up a little bit. Yeah. So look at what your price can be and push that price up, because that, if she doesn't want to sell out, because the rule about the MLS is that the basic general concept rule is that if you have something here and someone comes in and meets every single thing all the way across the board, then you are supposed to sell it. Now, as a seller in every state, you don't have to. You can back out of anything at any point you want to, because you can just go, I changed my mind, I don't want to do it. But the general rule, that kind of guiding principle over all of it, is that if someone meets you completely, you will do this. So get it high enough to where someone's not going to meet you. Find out from the broker if you can list under owner financing only. If that's the only way, and if that's the only way, then that you can actually do that legally, then that's your out. If not, then I would push that price up.
Yeah, I think in our MLS, there's a place to put, you know, all the financing things that you'll be willing to do. And I can just click that one and not click any of the others.
Right. There is that. Just make sure that you're not that. Well, I mean, like I said, sellers can always, all 50 states seller can say, I don't want to do it anymore. And they can back out. Could they lose? I mean, they're not going to lose their earnest money because they didn't put any down, you know, but so I know they can get out of it if they want to, but just make sure that you don't, you know what I mean? That there just wouldn't be a problem. I would just double check that one.
Okay.
All right. Cool beans. Lively conversation. Anybody got anything else before we go?
I had a guy here who did it. He did an owner finance, and the attorney wrote up everything for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well, she's got an attorney. If I can get the thing, she can have her attorney draft up the agreement. I'm not too worried about that. I just wanted to know. I wasn't sure I mean, I thought I could list it both places, but I wasn't sure, you know, in the rental, I could just put, you know, also available for rent to own creative financing. And then in the sale, I can put the price and then just put creative financing. And I can put what she told me in terms of down, and she wants 24 months of rental with no late payments. And then she said, we're done.
gotcha.
And then now I understand how I get paid.
Yeah, upfront. You get paid
Yeah.
upfront.
Okay. So I like that.
That's what I was concerned with also.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and you can ask for a big down payment. Usually they do. They ask for like a big down payment that they think people won't buy. I mean, agree to, but most of the time people have cash on hand to agree.
They have the
Okay.
cash, they just don't have the credit, and that
Yeah.
protects everybody, because you don't want to walk from that as a renter.
And that's why I think it'll be helpful. And if we have 24 months of consistent payment, you know, because right now she needs cash flow. And so I think that term makes sense. So I'm going to play with it and get it up today. I'm kind of excited that she's finally moving a little bit.
Cool. Very, very cool. All right. All right, y'all. Have a fabulous day. I am super looking forward to tomorrow, and enjoy whatever weather and everything else that you got going on in your lives. Go bless somebody. Bye, y'all.
Have a good
Thanks for all your help. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.